What's up, everybody? I'm Music Man, and for today's video we're going to talk about Harley-Davidson's 2022 release event. On January 26th, about 4 days ago as I'm recording this, Harley-Davidson released their new 2020 lineup promo video. I don't know if you guys have got a chance to watch it yet. I've watched it a couple times now. But just in case you haven't watched it yet, I figured I'd come out and kind of give you guys my thoughts on it and what they've got going on. Now, as I'm out here recording this, I am going to have the video playing in the background. I'm obviously not going to be able to see it, but that's why I've watched it a couple times already, so I can still give you guys feedback on it. And as it goes, when they talk about the new models of bikes coming out, I'll put some pictures up. That way you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about on these new bikes. Alright, so, hey, without further ado, let's get the video started. Set my cruise real quick, I need my hands free. Alright, let's start the video. As soon as you're watching this, they're going to start like every other promotional video you've ever seen. It's going to start with a little motivational bit. Really trying to get into that emotional box. Getting you excited about the new stuff fixing to come out. Well played, Harley-Davidson. Well played. So the title of this year's promotional video is Further, Faster. And you know, that's the coolest thing that Harley's done in a while. The Pan America wasn't the concept I hoped came out. But, you know, I'm happy for the company putting out their, you know, first ADV bike and it being #1 on its first release year. I don't know how much you guys are seeing on the Pan America, but that thing is quite the machine from what I've seen. Which, as happy as I am for the Pan America, God, I wish they had cranked out that Street Fighter prototype. Which, if you guys haven't seen that yet, check it out, because it is, I don't know, it's just cool. I thought that would have been another good market for Harley to get into. And that's probably the coolest thing that's came out. Very happy that Harley-Davidson won the Battle of the Baggers. As far as I know, I've only ever seen street glides, road glides, challengers, and chieftains in that. I wish Street Glide would have won it, because I'm not a Road Glide fan. But it is what it is. I'm just happy Harley brought the trophy back. Indian could suck it. I don't know if y'all have checked out the King of the Baggers races yet. I mean, it's kind of a silly concept, really. These big old baggers are not meant to be racing, but yeah, here they are doing it. I guess you're not supposed to race a school bus either, but they do that a little bit around here, so I guess you can race anything that's got a motor in it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have got a chance to watch the King of the Baggers race. A very unique thing. It's kind of funny. And it's cool that, you know, it's not so much just somebody else, you know, it's not a cycle gear bike or anything like that. It's direct. This team's directly sponsored by Harley-Davidson. I mean, they build the bikes. They should be able to build the best in the class. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just really happy they beat Indian. Really happy they beat Indian.
We had one final test session. Kyle gets off the bike. He smiles at the team, says, "This is a proper race bike."
You know you done something when you got somebody that races motorcycles, gets off your machine and says you straight up build a race bike. That's doing something. I don't really keep up with the MotoGP stuff. It just, I don't know, just not for me. I mean, it was cool watching them when I was a kid and stuff, you know, watching them race the squid missiles around the track, but I don't know, it's kind of lost its magic. It's not as interesting to me, I guess. I don't know. I'd like to see him do something with a Pan America racing. You know, set up an ADV off-road race. You know, not quite a hare scramble, nothing for dirt, you know, not for dirt bikes. It'd just be cool to see. As these two so this piece is kind of inspired by the new race bike idea. Harley-Davidson is kicking out a new line of their street glides and road glides. They're going to be the new ST line. The Road Glide and Street Glide ST. Now the idea behind these is, you know, it's Harley-Davidson looking at what the people that buy their bikes are doing to their bikes, you know. They're looking at ways of upgrading the suspension because the stock's not all that great. Looking at ways of riding the right. They're looking at ways of raising the ride height so you can get a little sharper lean angle when you go around corners. And they're definitely, everybody drools over a 131 big bore kit. It's cool that Harley's looking at making it more of a performance-based thing. Even though a bagger's not necessarily supposed to be some kind of, you know, high-performance race machine. I will tell you, on the darker bikes, I like the way that bronze looks. It looks pretty sharp. This is the downside to Harley-Davidson though. This bike should have had the 131 straight from the factory. That's where they messed up.
So it's a big upgrade for the performance of the bike, and also it's just
I mean, yeah, it's going to cost you a little more. That is what it is.
Standard bikes can do quite a bit of change to get it to sort of be a good baseline to start making performance back.
But that bike should have came with a 131. I know it's all just marketing and money making. But if they're really listening to their customer base, the ST model would have been the bike to put the 131 in. That's where it should have been. You know, it would be a really good thing for Harley to do with this CVO line. They talk about it being custom. It's not custom. If they really wanted to do this right and make it custom, that CVO bike needs to be something the customer can build from parts out of the catalog. You know, give them a couple of different paint schemes to select from. And then what are some of the basics people go straight to? Air breathers, pipes, bars, windshields, stretch bags. You know, I get it, not everybody wants all that stuff. But for the CVO line, I don't see why they can't make handlebars selectable.
We took the time to consider every part down to the little tiny details and really make something that has a custom feel for the rider.
These powertrains have some colors.
You know, I don't get why they can't just make stretch bags part of it. You're gonna spend that much money on a freaking motorcycle. Call it a custom bike and then take it home and still take parts off of it? Come on now. Yeah, not everybody's gonna want a bigger windshield or whatever. Some are gonna be perfectly happy with a short windshield like me. But that's a serious change Harley-Davidson could do and really listen to the customer base.
That speaks to the rider and speaks to where the CVO is position in our portfolio, which is at the top. It has to be the best of everything.
Best of everything, but not as good as it could be. Like I said, selectable parts straight out of the catalog for no extra money. Of course, it's going to be a higher price tag. It is what it is. But don't trade out the bars. Charge them for the new bars and still make them pay for the old ones. Come on now. If you're going to advertise a custom bike, do it custom. You know, if you got a rider that wants stretch bags, that's cool. Put them on there. What's going on? I'm not going to be able to hear him. It's an old friend of mine. It is in the 60s. It's a little chilly to be riding without a face covering. At least for me, anyway. Alright, so these bikes coming up are the ones that really kind of irritate me about Harley. Which is where a lot of their problems at. It's always just more of the same.
It's really big news for Lowrider ST. Powertrain is putting out 125 foot-pounds of torque, so it's a noticeable kick in the pants. We've got the heavy breather intake.
The Lowrider ST, we are super excited about what this is going to bring.
Alright, so this is the bike that I don't like. And you know, it may just be me, because this bike is definitely not for me. It is not for me at all. This bike just seems silly.
Adding aftermarket fixed bearings.
They were either restoring FXR2s or FXRs, putting that bearing on there. I mean, they were taking the bearing and swapping and trying to figure out how to get it out.
So we're gonna go do.
A lot of the shows that we give attention to around the world and starting to see just a couple bikes.
People are customizing their, you know, buying a model of Harley,
Executed in the old manner.
torquing it out and customizing it to what they like.
And that's how we started. And
Which
that's where you have to go on this.
I can kind of get behind that, because that's where the street guy, you know, came from. If you don't know about the Street Glide, it was originally the electric glide that people were buying and chopping.
Respecting history, being able to trace back the family tree. We have so much respect to FXR and FXRT. Really, the design team came up with that iconic look. When I sketched this bike, this bearing in particular, I believe the bike deserves its own new identity. Something more modern.
This is a purpose-built bearing. The family team really took the time to decide
Yeah.
to get it to the spot where it's suits.
That's a funny part of that is, like, oh, the new Lowrider ST needs its own identity. Let's make it look like an FXR from the 1980s.
This is a true lightweight wagon. It's got a performance
Yeah, I don't.
Comfortable on the long haul. The bike comes standard with cruise control.
I don't get it.
We wanted the tall suspension in the rear, and that was a 56 millimeter.
Which is cool,
We did
you know,
shift the saddlebag vertically tuned on
It's cool for it to be a touring bike for somebody that doesn't want a touring bike,
For Lowrider ST, we have
which is awesome if you have a smaller frame.
In this audio system for Lowrider ST,
But at the same time, there's plenty of people out there with small frames that can ride a street glide or a road glide just fine, even an electric glide. I mean, electrics are a little bit taller bike, but I don't know. I just don't see it performing well, I guess.
The mirror image of a sketch.
When we stepped back and looked at the finished product, every single person I saw walk by that bike,
And you know, just to
had that wow moment. Like that's
kind of top it up,
I think for some customers, this is going to be their rating.
that bike's just ugly.
Personality is slightly related to it. If you live somewhere where
I mean, at this point, that's kind of the charm of the 1980 model. Not, you know, 80 itself, just that time period. You know, the 1980s models, FXRs. That's kind of the charm of those bikes, is they were just ugly. You know, especially the FXRT with that big old fairing for whatever reason.
Right.
They're just ugly
At
bikes.
first, my product design was a lot of curiosity, a lot of wide eyes, and overturning every stone. The world is your oyster.
If I was going to predict it, I think this bike's going to go the same route as the Harley-Davidson Sport Glide. I just don't see it selling all that well. I'm not going to comment much on the clothing, because I just don't wear Harley-Davidson clothing myself. Yeah, it's just not for me. Just because I drive a Chevy truck doesn't mean every time I get in it I need to have my Chevy hat and a Chevy t-shirt, and if it's cold outside, a Chevy jacket and a Chevy sign in my garage. I don't get it. And that could be just my generation talking. Now, I know a lot of old guys, that's their deal. They get on their Harleys and they ride to a Harley dealership on Saturdays to go check out clothes.
Riding is what it's all about.
There's more to it for me than that. I don't mind going to the dealership if I need something. You know, if I need some more denim cleaner, or if I'm taking a bike in for service, or, you know, something like that. Sure. Outside of that, I don't know why I would need to go to the, you know, maybe if the dealership's having an event there, you know, social thing, cool, but I don't get getting on your bike and just going hanging out at the dealership on Saturday. It's not for me.
The heritage goes all the way back to 1903 when my relatives and Bill Harley rolled the first bike out of the shed. It's just become bigger and bigger and bigger. We're going to be kicking off the Road Harley-Davidson Homecoming Challenge.
Now, this kind of is something that's pretty cool.
From April 1st through the end of September, and we'll be selecting 120 riders from the challenge for an all-expenses-paid trip to celebrate with us the 120th anniversary at the Harley-Davidson Homecoming event.
I'll have to look into the ride challenge to see what it is.
I can't wait to meet that group of riders.
Just because I'm curious.
It's gonna be.
But I will tell you, it'd be cool to go to that party they're having up in Milwaukee next year.
more surprises in store for 2022. It's going to be an exciting year full of incredible adventures. We hope you'll join us at one of many events we'll be participating in throughout the coming year. Don't forget to mark your calendars for the 120th anniversary.
So I don't know if you guys heard him there, but
coming in 2023. This one's going to be special. You won't want to miss it. Thank you for joining
they got
us
something
on
new
this
coming
journey.
up for the
We look forward to
Sportster,
seeing you again soon.
and a couple other new things coming out this year. All right, and I'm not gonna watch the them closing out the video. They got some good B-roll shots of the bikes and all that, but I don't need to see it. So what I'm looking forward to is the stuff that's not included in the video. I keep hoping for the Street Fighter, if nothing else, because I think the bike will sell good here in the States. And what can I say? I was raised up with a soft spot for Harley-Davidson. My dad's always had a soft spot for him. And him always talking about the bikes growing up. Of course, that led me into having a soft spot for him. So, it's just kind of something that was gonna happen, But if they don't get on the modern line a little bit, the company's gonna have some trouble. Like, there's better suspension out there that people buy and put on their bikes, because stock Harley suspension is just not good. Now, I've got no complaints about the suspension on my bike, and it's just what came with the bike, but it's not the standard suspension. It is the special suspension. It is a bit of an upgrade. But this long into making motorcycles, there's no reason why you should be putting bad suspension on your bikes. I get it, you don't need to put race suspension on them. But why would you not want your new model of motorcycle to handle as possibly good as it can, Yeah. I have adjustable suspension on mine, but that should be something that comes standard across all motorcycles now. I know mine's a 2016. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that some of the bikes do now. What with it being like 6 years old and stuff. And I don't really see Harley-Davidson needing riding modes that much. Because the bikes are built more towards the torque end of things, not so much towards the horsepower. So there's no need to cut the horsepower down through the bike's ECM. When it's raining, because you just don't get on the throttle as hard. But they've got them on the new Pan America. I can see that bike needing them. The new Sportster S. It's a little more hopped up. I could see that bike needing it, which I think it does have them. Which, don't get me wrong, it's cool that, you know, they listen to the customers. That's how the Street Glide's here now. You know, and it's one of their hottest selling bikes. So, I mean, it is a good thing to listen to your customer base. But at the same time, man, when your customer base is dying, literally dying, not like just going away, like literally dying. The generation that, you know, built Harley-Davidson is literally dying. You need new customers coming in. The Pan America, you know, that drew some new ones. You know, that maybe took somebody that was riding another brand of ADV bike and decided, hey, let's give Harley-Davidson a shot. I hear good things. Which is cool, but I don't think it's enough. I know Harley's known for their cruisers, which is awesome. You can be known for a certain thing and still put out other models. I think putting out the Street Fighter and putting it, you know, that bike being the one that you offer for low displacement bikes for newer riders, and offering, of course, larger ones for more experienced riders to get out and tear the roads up. I think that bike would be the one that would really get more people into buying from Harley-Davidson as a company, and it help extend the lifeblood, you know? I don't know, that might just be me. But the sport bikes and naked bikes are really big with the younger generations. I mean, they always kind of have been. But at the same time, why would you not want to cut that market share? You know? You can still be known for making the #1 premium cruising and touring motorcycles. That can still be what you do. But you know, you can also make a hopped up squid missile. You know, the old two-wheeled unicycle. It's a thing. You can do that. You can do both. And I think that's more something Harley-Davidson needs to look into doing. I mean, for crying out loud, Husqvarna makes motorcycles and chainsaws. I mean, you can build more than one thing. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just kind of hoping that's going to be one of the new surprises coming up, is they're going to release that Street Fighter. You know, maybe the full-fared crotch rocket, you know, GP style race bike is not Harley's bag. You know, maybe that's not where they need to go first. Harley-Davidson's known for being a street bike. So be a street bike. Kick that Street Fighter out there. Make it in a lower displacement bike that gets it down into more of a budget-friendly realm where a younger guy can afford one. Hook him into a Harley early. You know, if they love that, when they get older and they still want to ride, but their back hurts all the time from, you know, an uncomfortable riding position on a squid missile, you know, maybe instead of looking at a Honda or a Suzuki or Kawasaki that makes their, you know, the sport bike when they're young, maybe they're looking to buy a Harley-Davidson touring bike or a cruiser. something a little more laid back. But I don't know. I'm just some dude on the internet rambling. I don't know what Harley-Davidson's, you know, marketing numbers look like. I don't work for them. I'm just, you know, giving my opinion on basically what I see out here when I'm out riding. Anyway, guys, I suggest you go watch the full video for yourself. Let me know what you think down in the comments. You know, how do you feel about, you know, the new Lowrider S and Lowrider ST models? And the new offshoot and the street glides and the road glides, I guess. You know, the new STs. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about those new bikes, just off your first impression. I'll tell you guys right now, I don't know about the ST models. They look good. I like the concept of the performance bagger. I just think they should have came with a 131. And I don't know, I kind of, the only real CVO edition that I really cared for this year, as far as, you know, in the looks department. Because let's be honest, I don't care what kind of performance upgrades and, you know, better quality, you know, more premium things you've got on the bike. If I don't like the paint, I ain't buying it. And I think the only CVO that I would pick up this year is going to be the green bike with the black flames. So anyway guys, that's just my opinion. You know, I'm just some dude here on the internet. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what was your favorite bike that they showcased this year. And I will see you guys out on the next ride.